40 years ago, a 21-year-old rookie started for the American League in the All-Star game. Now, there have been other rookies who've started the Midsummer Classic, but there's never been anyone quite like the American League starter that night. And the story of where he came from, how high he rose, and what happened to him afterwards is just as compelling as the persona he brought to the mound.
April in Northborough, Massachusetts, a little less than 40 miles west of Boston. It would be a stretch to call this a small town, but there are plenty of places here where everyone seems to know each other. Nowhere more so than Chet's Diner on Main Street.
It's pretty quiet in there. Bringing a camera, it quiets right down.
No, she knows what happens to me when a camera goes on my face. I stop talking.
Chet's is a family spot that's been around for more than 80 years. The owners, Ann and Jessica, are mother and daughter who've lived in Northborough for their whole lives. Today, they'll keep the diner open a little later than usual to celebrate the one reason you might have heard of Northborough, Massachusetts. The kid who became a hero and a legend, not just to his wife and daughter, but to everyone in this town who remembers what it was like to know someone who became so famous so quickly.
Pitching for the Tigers, a gentleman I think we would have to refer to as a character. His name is Mark Fidley. He's 21 years old. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts.
He's from Northborough.
Why did they say Worcester?
Because that's where he was born. He was born in Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester. In the hospital.
In the hospital, yeah.
The latest overnight superstar in the sports world is a young rookie pitcher for the Detroit Tigers who has a strange nickname.
I mean, I've been stopped at a red light and asked for my autograph. People jump out of the car and say, hey, it's you. Have your autograph, you know? I said, wow.
It was insane, crazy. You can't even understand it.
And all in a year. It's just unbelievable.
In a summer.
In a summer.
Not even a year, in a summer.
Right.
It was the summer of 1976. Not every phenomenon has a clear starting point, but Mark Fidry's did.
50,000 fans will be here tonight to see 21-year-old Mark Fidry.
It was a Monday night in June. The Tigers playing the Yankees with a pitcher who looked and acted like no one else before him or since.
Look at him, talking to that ball.
I've never seen this.
You never watched this game?
Nope.
It still means something, all these years later, to remember and discover who he was.
The hair. Boys.
The fans are cheering, let's go Mark. He's got it. He is some kind of unbelievable young Mark Fidry.
These are the best of times, man. It's the best of times.
A 1,000 miles west of Northborough, Mass, in the spring of 1976, Detroit, Michigan was already a shadow of what it had once been. Layoffs in the auto industry had crippled the economy. With budgets slashed, policemen, firemen, and teachers laid off, the city seemed like it was crumbling.
In 1976, America's finally coming out of the Vietnam era, the Watergate scandal. If most of America is feeling this kind of renewed sense of optimism, Detroit is not feeling that.
Detroit, already in the grips of a devastating economic recession, was ripe for violence.
There's gang violence that's spilling over into the streets. It's really a depressed city.
It was only 8 years before that Detroit blew up in riots. 1976, those buildings are still burned. Those blocks are still empty. I mean, everybody was leaving Detroit. Nobody wanted to stay in Detroit.
It's not a period of optimism in Detroit. And the Detroit Tigers are not giving anybody anything to feel optimistic about either.
That's the 5th error of the ball game for the Detroit Tigers.
73, 74, 75, they were really bad. I mean, no getting around it. And that great pride of what the Tigers were had disappeared. All of a sudden, after those miserable years, Mark Fidry electrified Detroit again.
Bird came along where we having problems, and he came a city of lift.
Changed people's lives, made a difference, brought hope to a whole region. it was okay to be from Detroit because the Bird was pitching for the Tigers.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the Bird.
Fans starting to yell, "Go Bird, go!"
My favorite player was Mark Fidrich, the Bird. It was Bird mania.
Bird is the word.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. 20,000 extra people flocked to the ballpark.
When he walked out the dugout, bang!
Everything about him made your curiosity want to know more.
He's cool.
He's so weird, he's good.
Who ever heard of a guy named the Bird?
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the Bird.
I like his hair. I like the way he fixes his man.
That is not a member of the Detroit ground crew.
He talks to the ball a lot.
Fidrich talking to the ball.
He's nutty. It's good to be nutty.
People that might not even talk about baseball were talking about baseball.
He was a phenomenon.
I don't know what to do.
There was a new kind of athlete, the way that John Lennon was a new kind of musician.
Go Bird, go!
I love this guy.
Right time, right place, right guy.
What he did for the game of baseball in the city of Detroit, it's unheard of.
Look at that! Shaking the policeman's hand!
He was like a shooting star. It shined bright. It was wonderful.
The Bird may have lit up the baseball world in 1976, but he also seemed to always know how fleeting fame can be, how it can come and go at a moment's notice.
What if you woke up tomorrow morning and none of this happened? It was all just a dream, right?
That would be funny.
4-4.
No, that would be funny, you know, just wake up and say, wow, what a dream I had that night. That was the best 8 hours sleep I ever had.
When we were young in Northborough, Mark was always creating some chaos. He always had something exciting going on. He was energetic, happy, running around talking a lot or being eccentric or crazy. It was normal because that's what we were used to.
Because of his energy and his antics, he always would get into some issues.
A lot of trouble.
I think that he could gather enthusiasm for lots of people around him, even at that age, and whether it was in school or out of school, actually.
Young Mark Fidrich's endless energy was also evident pitching for Northborough's high school baseball team.
He was very focused. You know, his hands up with the glove, focused, constantly moving and chattering. I don't remember him smoothing the mound down, but he was into it.
He had talent, too. And in the 10th round of baseball's 1974 draft, the Tigers made him their pick.
The first time I met Mark Fidrich, we were playing in Oklahoma City. And in the first inning, a ground ball was hit to shortstop. Chuck Scribner made a really nice play, and he ran over and shook his hand right in the middle of the inning. And right then and there, we said, whoa, who is this guy?
One of the minor league coaches thought he reminded him of the Big Bird on Sesame Street.
I thought it was pretty cool that they called him the Bird and he was lanky and you could see the resemblance.
Somebody was talking, you know, we got this kid that's a pitcher in the organization, they call him the Bird, and he's talking to the ball, he's patting down the mound. I guess it was pretty comical, really. But I can remember also that they were talking about this kid's really good.
Fidrich was invited to big league camp the following spring in 1976. And at age 21, with just 1 year of professional experience, the kid from Northborough made the Tiger roster.
No one in the town can believe it. They're all happy for him. They pray for him. They even put signs up. Come on, Bird. Glad he's got his little wish that he had when he was a little boy.
Back home, they may have been thrilled, but everywhere else, they barely noticed.
In 1976, there was no coverage of Mark Fidrich coming out of spring training. Nobody was like, hey, the Tigers have got this kid and he's incredible. None of that.
Frankly, I don't remember him at all. There was no buzz, no excitement, nothing.
What finally happens is that Dave Roberts, who's one of the starters on the Tigers staff, comes down with the flu. It's May 15th in Detroit against the Cleveland Indians. This is the opportunity for Mark Fidrich to take the mound for his first major league start.
Nobody at Tiger Stadium that day could have expected what the lanky 6'3" curly-haired kid was about to do.
I was like, who is this goofy guy?
He talked to the ball, he talked to the sky, he talked to everything. And after 6 innings, along with all the quirks, he hadn't allowed a hit.
And I never forget Rico Carter and all them guys. They were out there laughing at him. They looked around, he got a no-hitter going.
At one point, the Tiger Stadium grounds crew comes out and tries to shovel some sand, and he stops them. He's like, hey, I'm pitching a no-hitter. Like, I want to do this myself. And he takes a handful of sand out of their wheelbarrow and smushes it down. Winds up giving only 2 hits to the Cleveland Indians. Tigers win 2-1. It's a complete game victory for this kid in his first major league start.
Fidrych followed up his strong and colorful debut with a tough-luck complete game loss to the Red Sox, but then reeled off 6 straight wins, 5 of them complete games. But since only a small portion of Tiger games were televised, the exploits of the Bird were mostly just written about in local sports pages or described on the radio.
When you were a fan in 1976 as a kid, you listened to the game.
I had a little transistor radio with a little cord that went up to my ear, and I would take that to school with me and listen to it, especially when I could, until the teacher told me to put my radio away.
You know, I just happy to be playing the big league and on a hot streak. So when you're on a hot streak, you throw me in there all the time, you know?
I hear the Boston accent. You know, that's what I hear. I hear him kind of, his personality like this is just kind of goofy. Everything's cool.
Well, life, yes. I don't know how to answer that.
We're 2 kids growing up in the mid-'70s. We don't know anything. All we know is that there's this thing happening, man, and we want to be a part of it.
Boy, this is a roaring crowd. They came out to see the Birdman.
Fidrych was really only kind of a rumor in a weird way.
You had to see it up close. Because there was no social media, you were forced to investigate yourself the rumors of what is this guy all about?
All that was about to change. Mark Fidrych was scheduled to face the first-place Yankees on a Monday night in June. The game would be nationally televised. Commonplace now, but back then, a real event.
Monday night baseball, where the whole nation was watching, I mean, every eye was on that TV. And our team, the Tigers, was going to be playing on Monday night with the Bird pitching. That was big.
I remember flying on the Yankee charter from New York. The Brewers and the Yankees had played at Yankee Stadium, and Fidrych had already beaten the Brewer. I saw him pitch, and Billy Martin had said, "Tell me about this Bird guy. Tell me about Fidrych." I said, "I don't know that much about him." I said, I'm telling you, he can pitch." He said, "Here's what I think. If he beats us, I'll eat my hat at home plate." Okay?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great night of Monday Night Baseball, where close to 40,000 fans are on hand to see if the young and ambitious Detroit team can flag down this Yankee Express.
It was just hard to believe that someone from our town, was on national television pitching.
So Mark Fidrych is the man people have come to see tonight.
We were curious coming to the ballpark. Who the hell is this crazy guy,
You'll see him mumble a couple of words to the ball.
He was an oddity, a real oddity. Nobody ever did what Fidrych did.
Look at him, talking to that ball.
What pitcher ever talk to a ball?
I get a kick out of this guy. He's probably saying, "Come on, move that ball, move that ball."
I didn't think he was going to talk to it. I thought he was going to eat it. I'm not kidding you, because that's exactly where it was.
That is not a member of the Detroit ground crew. That's starting pitcher Mark Fidrych.
You never saw this. You never saw a guy manicured as if it was his own personal ground crew.
He's congratulating each player. Hey. Even on so-so plays.